When is it most painful?
Does it make it much better or worse?
I think.
Hi, Graham. Can you hear me?
So the only thing I need to do, I just need to follow up with her and just give her a few kind of stretches. I want to give her some strengthening stuff as well for the foot and the ankle, and then sort of see if those help.
That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah, really interesting because, you know, I was from what I read and what I spoke with you yesterday, I was expecting the piriformis and the glutes to be super tight, and they definitely were not.
And glute med? What about glute med
as well? Glute med, a little bit tight, but nothing major.
Interesting.
Yeah.
She was in a lot of pain, wasn't she?
Yeah, but during the treatment, she didn't seem to be in too much pain, but she obviously, you know, she can't walk very far, certainly not as much as she used to. She has to, she can walk certain distance, and then she has to stop and then rest, and the pain subsides, and then she can walk again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So where are you gonna see her again?
Yeah, hopefully. She hasn't booked in yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send her some exercises and strengthening for the foot and ankle, and then just send a quick follow-up and just asking her how she felt after the treatment and stuff, and then see if she if she wants to book in.
That's amazing. I'm so chuffed. That's really cool.
So yeah, I was a little bit nervous about this one, given the email.
You could send her that little video you made of a tennis ball in the calf.
Yeah, that would work, because she did have tight calves as well.
Did she? Yeah. There you go. There was a purpose for that video.
Yeah, there was. But yeah, it was a lot of, I was focusing on the lower foot. I was checking like the flexors and the extensors. I was quite happy with the treatment, and I think she enjoyed it as well.
Mark phoned me yesterday and said, I'm seeing this lady who's got presenting with all sorts of really quite nasty hip issues. You know, what do you think? And we just sort of talked it through a little bit, and it was a lot to it. But good one, Mark. What are you drinking? Green tea, Mark, or what?
It is green tea, yeah.
Yeah, I had an idea it would be. I had a sort of guess it would be. I know your passion for green tea. I have to major mess last week because I didn't press any record button, and I thought I did quite well as well. I thought it was quite a decent treatment. And,
that was a really good treatment, I thought, last week.
It was even better, but it's private because we didn't ever watch it. And the idea of anyway, so I'm going to recap. But what I really want to work on is Victoria, bless her. We just yanked her in because she was here doing a rocket. Was it?
Indian head massage.
Yeah. So she came for an Indian head massage model, and here she is at 7 o'clock on my couch. So really nice of her to volunteer, and I've pressed the record button so we know what's going on. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I just want to go through the protraction and some work and just recap some of that, hoping that we get a few other people that might join us. But I think we're okay with the camera there, aren't we? I think we're. So we could see we've got some ugly people in the room. We have a bit of a look round. They come to sort of join us. Me looking like I'm doing a welding course. Okay. Obvious when you look at Victoria, right shoulder really kind of protracted. I'm going to do a very simple kind of lats and lats and pecs. Good range of movement with our pecs and lats, pretty good. Medial rotation, good. Lateral rotation, not so good. Pec, not so good. Lats pulling out on this arm. Lateral rotation, medial rotation, good. So medial rotation is an issue, lats playing up. Is there any story around here, Victoria, that is worth sharing around your shoulder, or would you say you're okay, or do you? Did you?
I do lots of swimming.
You loved it. You do lots
of swimming.
Right, and what stroke do you do?
From crawl.
Okay. So I'm going to just palpate coracoid process. Marks out of 5. 5 being really sore. Where is that taking us? 4. So coracoid process, so pec minor, coracoid brachialis, and bicep. Yeah, nasty. Difference between the two?
That one's got pain.
Yeah, lats on this side, is it? Which side do you breathe on?
Both.
Equally?
More right than left.
Okay, so, if I had £1 for every time I looked at deltoid and thought, gosh, there's a lot of work here, welcome to Victoria. So I'm going to crack straight on because I want to get on with that rather than do much more. Is it just you and me, Mark, this evening? What do you think? Is it just you and me? There's a few people here.
No, there's a few others.
Ah, good evening.
Now I know that I come up on a big screen like that. I'm not in
Yeah, we
should.
yeah, we should wave, shouldn't we? Good evening, madam. Do you think it's pretty grim looking like that? It's a big screen. Oh,
She looks great, but I'm not
I can. How do I make it go down into tablet? Do you know how to do that? I'll look at you, Rachel, because this is your world.
You should exit full screen. Yeah, you should be able to gallery view. Gallery view. Oh, yeah.
Hey, see? We've got lots of ugly people. Ah. John, you're around in the background. Why aren't you going to turn your camera on, John? Cool, deltoid's tight, isn't it?
It's probably more from massaging than it is from swimming.
Do you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
How often do you swim?
Well, normally 3 times a week, but at the moment, probably only twice.
It's hard, isn't it? My pool's just opened again, literally a week ago, and
No, I've been doing open water, so it's only.
oh yeah, lucky. Yeah, I don't like that. I get scared of all the bits in the pool.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't like.
But yeah, it's probably more from massaging.
It's been here a bit longer than that, madam. So I'm posterior deltoid, sort of middle deltoid, just really. On a 1 to 5?
4.
Okay, tell me, Vicky, because
Okay.
sorry, because I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, I can't tell. I want to be on 3s really,
Okay.
but you're tight there, aren't you?
Yeah, I didn't know I was.
Yeah. Can you hear me all right, Mark?
Yeah, sound is fine.
Yeah. It sound all right for people? Is that
Yeah.
all working all right? Ah, Mr. Wright, look, we got all sorts of nice, ugly people. Watch, hello, John. Good evening to you. Do you think they're naturally just avoiding me, or?
They're all on mute.
Is that what it is?
I bet they are.
Yeah, no. Okay, let's just drop into, just see if I can get a little bit in there. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Just shout, Victoria. Anything over a 3, just shout, seriously, because it's difficult to tell, you know. I suppose the important thing to say about this treatment, if on these things, this is not about a syllabus. This isn't about having a bit of a kind of anything really. This is about me. This is the kind of stuff that I do, and that's important to say really. So the techniques will be based on my experience rather than this is what I teach on this or this is what I teach on that. And I think
That's probably 4.
yeah. Just keep telling me. Just keep telling me.
That last bit there.
There. Yeah. Too much? Just yeah. Okay. So I want to drop into, here's a clavicle. I'm going to drop into the subcutaneous muscle here, small muscle that I think gets very locked up with pec major. I just want to... So.
That's all right, actually.
So between the crease of the arm, second rib, draw a line between the two, in the middle, gives me pec minor.
Yeah, that's soft.
So I'm going to do a roll of anterior deltoid now, work on anterior deltoid. So my action is to move down towards the chest and at the same time do a lateral rotation. So I'm doing that kind of move. So I'm coming down, squeezing it through and then rolling through. And might be fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay. And then I get so far and then I lift.
Yeah, that's not so fun.
That's all. Really looking at dropping through the fibers and getting into anterior deltoid and keep nibbling coming back to that coracoid, nasty coracoid process, tight and tender, reminding ourselves about pec minor, coracoid brachialis and short arm of the bicep. And I quite like this move. You need almost to have no wax on to drag down and then pull around. So you have this kind of sliding motion. Some people drop in with their forearm and do it, which can be quite nice. Brave, Victoria, there's no question. Does it clunk when you swim? No. So I want to just get some movement and start. I have a sense of what the whole concept of pushing on the coracoid process is that the sliding the scapula back down the back, that's where you want to kind of get it back where it belongs. And we might do some sideline kind of work on that. Ah, we got a nice picture of you, Hannah.
Yeah. I was just doing some stuff in the background, and I thought you didn't really want to see me walking around. So
I don't know. I quite like you when you.
a pretty picture was nicer than the reality, I think.
Ah, got two pictures of John. These come up twice.
I think
Amazing,
it's
John.
quite special tonight.
Have you got a brother?
Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I've got two pictures
I'm in
of you,
all
John.
sorts of trouble. I spent 10 minutes and I couldn't hear a thing, so I uploaded it again, and now there's two of me. So welcome to my twin brother.
That's brilliant. I think I quite. Could you do one side of your face one way and then the other, so we get a nice picture of all round, John? Or
Only if I move really quickly.
yeah. It's nice to see
Hello,
you.
Chris. You all right?
In Bristol. How are you getting on?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
There, now you've got none of me.
Yeah. That looks better, to be fair, John.
Yeah, I miss you too.
Yeah. I miss your humour, that's for sure.
Oh.
Dear. Tell me, I know that you're in contact. Can I ask a bit of how's Rachel these days?
Yeah, I think she's doing all right. I think Sarah and I had a conversation with her on Zoom, and she was a bit anxious about starting back.
Yeah.
By the end of the conversation, all three of us decided we were good to go. So she's back at it now.
Bit of peer group pressure.
Yeah, Sarah's working too hard.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's nice. I know you keep in contact, the three of you, so that's really cool.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, I'm back up and running now. I've done about a dozen in the last couple of weeks, so that's good.
That's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. Good man. Have you got that fan going outside that door yet to get the air,
Yeah.
keep the air going through?
Yeah, bit of positive pressure ventilation.
Yeah. Well, being a fireman, I thought that'll be your world. You'd be
That's
on that.
exactly it. That's what we used to do. Clear the smoke out of a room.
Absolutely. I thought you'd be good at that. I'm sorry. I might try and adjust. Victoria's going to get up and just go. I know you can't see, you can see the back of my flipping head, which is probably about the best part of me, really. So I might fiddle with the camera from week to week to try and get a different angle, but I think it's all right, is it? I mean, you tell me, guys, you're watching. John, your brother, because you're asking what he thinks about the camera position.
Well, I think you look great, actually, but my brother thinks you've got a bit of grey going on.
Yeah. You're bloody, excuse me, I've got to be careful. Last week, I didn't record this session because I didn't find the button to press. And then Olivia, bless her heart, she gave me a lesson on, look, mate, you have to press this button. It says record. And so I found it today and it's recording. So I've got to be careful about my humour and my language, which is not much else is going to be said, I don't think. I enjoyed the sessions in lockdown when we had some, you know, that ability for us to sort of see each other and get together and just have a bit of chew the fat through lockdown. I found really, I think other people did as well, but I found it supportive and a good thing to do, you know?
Yeah, it's been a difficult year, hasn't it? We've all been floundering a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. The bit I want to really make clear here, if you have somebody who's protracted and you've got something that's tight through the chest, you must work on deltoid and really spend your time. The relationship between upper trap and deltoid is incredibly intimate. It shares the attachment of the clavicle, cranium, and the spine of the scapula. And, you know, if you work here, I know you're thinking, well, it doesn't really, you know, it's all, Chris, but you'll get up and you'll think, wow. Seriously, you'll get up and you'll think, gee, I didn't have an idea. So about the back of my head. I might get a haircut for next time, John. Well, maybe I could do a bit of colouring, couldn't I? That's true. I'll lose some of the grey, do you think? I don't know.
I'm only jealous. You've got a full head of hair, Chris, which is one step ahead of me.
Well, now you bring it up, John, let's talk about it. I am worried about you. There's no question. It's nice to have a bit of banter with you, John. It's good. Are you keeping well? Family all right?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a hot mess now. My daughter's beating me up doing the couch to 5K.
Oh, gee.
So we've just come back from a 7K run because my maths isn't very good.
Yeah. That's a good thing to do, isn't it?
I mean, map reading. I said, is that maths or map reading that's not very good?
Well, both actually. I've got a bit of a reputation for not being very clever with a map.
Yeah. If there was ever a fire in Bristol, you wouldn't call John. He'd end up somewhere else.
Well, no, they'd call me, and then they'd call me again to say, are you coming or what?
And then you send your brother. Yeah, I know. How are you, Hannah? You look well. How are you getting on?
I'm all right. I've had 3 clients back since I opened a couple of weeks ago. One which has signed up to a package, which is a 6-week package is what I've sold it as. So preferably they come every single week for 6 weeks. But we review after 4 weeks to see whether they need every week after that or, you know, bi-weekly or whatever. But other than that, it's quiet. It's really quiet. My 2 other clients haven't come back. I haven't chased them at the moment. One works in London, so I know, and he works shifts as well. So 4 days, 4 nights, 4 off, or whatever. But yeah, it feels like there's tumbleweed out there, but I don't know if it's because I'm not selling it enough. I'm not, you know, not advertising it enough. I don't know, but I don't know if anyone else feels like that. It just feels quite quiet at the moment.
Yeah, I'd agree. I said I've done 10, but 4 of those is the same person. So yeah, it's difficult. And interestingly, I've only seen 2 women. I don't know if women are being a bit more cautious.
It's about you, John. Let's not be silly. I mean, come on.
Unless women are struggling to get away, you know, it's easier to do it when the routine starts in September and the schools and stuff like that. And actually at the moment, it's just like, you know, it's, without being sexist, it's the women who struggle to find time for themselves when, you know, things are just like compounding.
Oh, you're tight here, aren't you? Are you okay?
That feels all right, actually. It was lower down.
Yeah, it's in here, isn't it?
That's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's relatively, yeah, I can feel it there.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's massaging, not
So, one of my work, sorry?
Hopefully it's massaging, not swimming.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Yeah. could be both, couldn't it? Well, you know, and I think the theme for me has been, you know, I've seen some clients over the last couple of weeks, and people have been holding on to a lot of stuff for a long time, and and you know, for us, I think it's an interesting kind of thing when you're seeing clients, you by definition soak up their stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, they're feeling kind of wretched or feeling solid or sore. I saw a vet, Lucy, who's a vet, and bless her, she's working her socks off and stressed and this, that, and the other. And I came away from the treatment and I felt quite kind of emotional and a bit kind of, wow, you know, there's a lot going on out there that I'm not aware of, and just being aware of being in touch with that. Okay, so I'm going to use a rolling technique and I'll just see if it works. I don't know if it will work here. Just come up and roll through and drop the hand on the back of the head. And I'm just going to come under the occiput here. Can you see that in the camera? Yeah, you can actually, can you? So the idea here being that I roll the forearm and I hold the back of the head. So I'm doing this kind of move. On Victoria, I want to lengthen her neck. It's tight and there's, you know, just tension there, day-to-day tension, whatever it is, be that work or be that swimming or be that just, you know, day-to-day stuff, you know. So a nice slow breath in for us. And let go. Okay, and again, breathe in again. And then as you breathe out, just let your shoulders just fall.
You've got a fairly chunky wrist, Chris, so,
yeah.
So it's having that impact if you're smaller.
Yeah, no, you're right, Emma. I think you're right. Yeah, have a go in a bit. Yeah. Have a play with it and see. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. I think you can put a towel on the couch and lift your wrist up. You know what I mean? You could pack up a bit. And it's just the key bit here is about tuning into the breathing rather than the movement. You know, the movement doesn't have to be very much. It's almost just like saying, yeah, I'm just almost taking the weight of the head, and the breathing and the releasing is a bit of what I really tune into. So put your hands onto your tummy for me, and then take a nice slow breath into your hands. And as you breathe out, just let your hands relax and get heavy. And you know, one of the themes for all of us at the moment, and this is the lovely crossover, I think, you know, sports massage, we deal with people that run and all that kind of heavy duty stuff. Actually, sometimes it's maybe just good to get people thinking about breathing and relaxing and just, you know, just letting go of whatever it is that they're holding on to, you know, in a very straightforward kind of way, not complicated, not kind of heavy, you know what I mean, not kind of emotionally heavy, but just saying, hey, why don't we just have a bit of a think about this? And that's quite a nice thing to do sometimes, you know.
And it's okay to touch, because I think we've
yeah,
over that few months.
absolutely.
So anybody, let alone touch somebody. So.
Can people hear a conversation in the room? Can you hear it okay?
Can hear you very well, Chris. It's a little bit harder to hear other people.
Okay, I might shift the microphone around a bit. Give me a minute, Victoria. Let me just see. I might try the other microphone, and then we'll just try, because it's an interesting discussion going on in the room, which is really just sort of broadening out what I'm. Let's just try that and just see how that sounds. How does that sound? Is that any better, John? Your end? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can still hear you very well. Just we'll have to wait and see until someone else talks.
Yeah, we've got to go back. Would you say something? Just say hello to everybody. Yeah. Nobody wants to talk to you, John. It's just a thing.
No need to shout.
There's two of you. It's a bit overwhelming.
Sorry, I got my dodgy signal.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, that's actually.
It's nice.
It's actually working, isn't it? It's really sitting there. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So breath in again, and then connect up and just drop that. Nice bit of NET I use in this position, where I cap the back of the head. The muscles I want to work on are right up by the occiput. So they sit, let me just get this side. So that they come right up onto the occiput and just drop in either side of C1 in that sort of gully there. They're often the area that gets so tight for people and tender. And MET works nicely on this. So I'm going to cradle the back of the head and on the forehead. And what I'm going to ask Victoria to do is do that move. So she looks above the head, so she contracts the back of her head. Can you see that? So she's tilting back. And I'm going to stop her from doing that. But she's doing just a, yeah, so just gently, half that strength. Fine. So just come up and I'll tell you when to stop. So just keep up and just keep that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then she relaxes. She takes a breath in. And now I do the opposite. So now you just relax and let me do the work. I bring the hand up and I tuck the chin in. Now I'm stretching those extensors at the back of the neck. And I come back down again. And then you lift up to look above me and I'll stop you. Brilliant. So now she's contracting the extensors of the back of the head. And then just hold that for a few seconds. And then she relaxes. Take a breath in for me again. And then as she breathes out, I just lift the back of the head and tuck the chin in. So now I stretch them. Really nice, simple, level 4 technique, MET. It's a kind of backbone of, you know, MET is a backbone of level 4. And it's so usable, you know, you don't have to, it's nothing about sports injuries. It's about just getting length back into muscles. So we do that one more time. So you come up, I stop you. Fantastic.
So where was your left hand placed, Chris? I can't quite see it.
Sort of behind the neck. I'm kind of pulling it up.
Oh, okay.
Cradling behind the neck. Breath in for me, Victoria. And as you breathe out again, let me do the work. So then she stretches and I just, so I'm lifting. So my hand is pulling up this way and then I'm pushing down with the other hand to get that stretch. Almost sort of giving her a sort of a nod of the head. And just do that 2 or 3 times and then we should begin to feel, yeah. Better?
I think so.
It was easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Certainly up here, there wasn't much there anyway, really, was it? It was more here, wasn't it? More mid-range.
Yeah.
Feels easier.
Feels better.
Let's just have a, I don't want to just do a mirror of what I did last week. Range of movement there, good. Range of movement here. Okay, feels good actually, doesn't it? Range of movement good for you?
Yeah, this side's stiffer, but
This side a bit different. Let's just do sort of scalings, release. Let's just remind ourselves, get the head on here, and remind ourselves to just lift the head, coming behind sternocleidomastoid into that thoracic triangle, drop into the middle, and onto this side. And I'm going to drop into there, so I want a 2 or a 3.
3.
About 3?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Now what I want you to do now is keep your head on the couch, but just rotate your head either way, just very slowly. So just keep going. You might not be able to go very far until it goes all the way like that, and then back the other way. So you just keep going backwards and forwards. How are you, Graham? Yeah, so you're going to talk to me now. Yeah, you're a bit quiet there with your English.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just observing on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. How's life? I can't remember where you come from, Graham. Where's life?
I'm over in Amesbury.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, life is good. Just on 3 weeks leave at the minute from the army.
Yeah.
Which is nice, looking after the kids and that.
Yeah, great.
But my wife, she's into therapy and does a lot of lymphatic and reflexology and pregnancy. And specialises, and she's been really busy, which is good.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it? Where we have some people who are saying, "Look, this is really hard work. It's dried up, got to feel to it," and other people that are really saying, "Gosh, I can't move for work." Interesting. Yeah,
I think it's just a lot of regular clients that have wanted to come back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's nice.
I had this discussion with Victoria before we started filming that there's a tendency for me to shorten names. I can't remember whether or not she liked to be called Victoria or Vicky. And I was told very clearly that it's Victoria. And she'd get up and go if I called her Vicky. So I'm on a knife edge here, guys.
Well, I am pretty much pinned down.
But she hasn't lost her humour either way. Yeah, lovely. You saved the day today, Victoria, no question. Right, let's just see how that works. Was it a scalings issue? Let's just see this side was tight. How does that feel now when we go over?
Yeah, it's definitely
A
looser.
little bit easier, not much, I would say. It feels a little. What do you think?
It feels it to me.
Feel
but
better. Okay, and this way. So I'm just going to do a little bit of simple MET on upper track. I haven't really done any work on it at all, really. I'll just pinch it a little bit and just see, trigger point it. I haven't warmed it up really, which is a bit naughty. I probably should. If I pinch, is it sore?
No.
Not really.
Yeah, it is down. It's
Yeah,
really bad.
yeah, okay. I'll do just a little bit. I don't want to sort of. I want to get you sideline really because I want to do some scapular work, sideline scapular work and lats. So we're just yeah, that's enough for me. I'm not almost, because we work here and the deltoid. I really enjoy working with what you find, and I really enjoy the concept of, I keep coming back to your deltoid somehow. That's where I want to be, and because that's how I feel, that's what I'm going to do. Rather than have it described. I work on this, and 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 I turn the eyes and I do this, this, this. I think it's exciting I set the stage, I work where I want to work, and then I've done enough work on this side, yeah. So then you run your hand down and you feel that, and you think, yeah. And I really like this just sitting on the side. The blade, our forearms, you can feel that, see that in the camera. The blade of our ulna here is just amazing. When we rotate our wrist, it allows us to really slide through, and it's like a butter knife. It's just amazing. So you can come down and here, exactly where the tulip of the anterior, middle, and posterior deltoid comes through, halfway to here. You can see that quite nicely in the camera. This is really quite solid, and I'm just going to come down and I'm going to stop on it and just see what happens if I. Yeah. It's really so let's just have a go. Now I can't remember that lady's name at the top. You're going to come and say hello to us because I can't remember your name.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Felicity Bertram.
Yeah, Flick, I remember now.
Yeah.
Forgive me. How's life with you?
It's all right, but yeah, I couldn't stomach Zoom, yet more Zoom after work during lockdown, and because I live alone, I haven't massaged anyone through lockdown. And then when lockdown stopped, we were only allowed to take the rowers out on the river 4 at a time. So I did a load of extra coaching. So now I'm sitting here without actually having massaged somebody for like 6 months. So I've got to somehow, and a rowdy dog in the background. So I've got to somehow remember how to do it all.
Wow.
My exam.
Right. So what we're going to do, Flake, we've got to get you going again, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm trying to find some local sports massage people who want a massage, if it means. So I'm actually working
and
on
the rowers. I mean, the rowers were a keen kind of avenue for you, weren't they?
Yes, potentially. Like at the moment, I'm working with the juniors, and I'm not very tempted to massage teenage boys, even though they all need a lot of work on the hamstrings. But yeah, and so then it's a case of just work out getting everything set up again, and that sort of thing. So.
Whereabouts are you?
Sorry?
Whereabouts are you?
Wallingford, so South Oxfordshire.
Sorry, Karen.
One of my friends has just literally today moved. Otherwise, I'd hook you two up or something. So even if you just did massage swaps or anything, that would have been really helpful.
Yeah, because I'm also feeling the not having had a massage for a while side of things. So.
Yeah.
Flick, how far away from Carterton are you?
Carterton, it's reasonably, it's close enough to travel, I think. Where are we?
One of the girls that Chris taught with me and another we were talking about earlier, Rachel, lives in Carterton.
Yeah.
She's a lovely lady and might appreciate a massage and might be able to help you do a swap.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that is, where are we? Oh, it's coming out as 50 minutes away, but it feels closer than that.
Too many years of abuse.
Sorry?
Too many years of abuse.
I know someone in Didcot, I reckon. So I can.
Awesome.
She's a level 3, so I can send. I'll send the details now if you want. I'll just put it in the chat.
That'd be fantastic, please.
I'm trying to think. Yeah.
To share, I think it's too much.
Yeah, that's foreman.
That's all.
That's foreman. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a bit of sideline work. So I'm going to just drop this out of there. And sarong management is going to be good.
Say, where's the camera?
We're turning you that way.
I'm looking this way.
You're turning that way, and I'm going to drop that behind here. Okay. Are people using sarongs? Is it working?
Yeah, I prefer it to camera actually.
Do you? Yeah. I just want to bring it
Easier on
up a little bit
well.
so I can just drop that behind your head there.
I just went online and got some material. Actually, just got some cotton, wide cotton that had some pretty pattern on it, so it wasn't plain. And that's what I've been using rather than a sarong.
Right. Just going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only because the sarongs I've been quite conscious, because some of them say that, you know, they're handmade or whatever, and I was just worried about smashing them in a wash or.
And this hand I want to be able to move around.
Okay.
I think it's quite a nice way to work, you know. I've always used towels, and I've been kind of, you know, we've got this situation where, can you see that in the camera? That doesn't look bad, does it? The danger I've got here is that I'm going to be in it and I can't see if you see me. So the key bit about this work is hardly any wax. Don't fall into the trap of, it's almost a joke, don't fall into the idea that you've got to get things slippy. Really, certainly once you've got level 3 under your belt and you're qualified, then, and that kind of, you've got those 4 kind of FLRG movement moves under your belt, I would do little of them. You know, I haven't warmed up this area at all, and because I'm just going really slow, then in some respects I don't really need to. I'm quite happy just sitting on here and just quietly nibbling up the ribs. How are you feeling?
Yeah. Fine.
1 to 5?
3.
So what am I doing? I want to get the ribs going a bit. I want to get serratus anterior going. We're protracted, so 2 muscles that do that, pec minor and serratus anterior. I want to kind of get that kind of going. I'm really conscious of posterior deltoid as well here. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be just as kind of grim as the front, really. So I want to kind of just say hello to that in a minute. But first of all, I want to lift the ribs, get some elevation in the ribs. You know, by gravity, we tend to flap and our breathing, and we tend to sort of drop our core. So I want to lift and get some sort of width and breadth back in the ribs. And here again, you that ulna, that blade that you can use, and you can almost, it's like a butter knife, you can really tuck under each rib and give it a lift up and get some movement here. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's good.
So, okay.
Now 3.
Perfect. So that's a good pressure for me. How's that feel if I'm break? You happy with the best tissue?
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm just going to get that all through. How's that feel?
Yeah, it's nice.
And then I'll just add a little bit of that. John, your brother's gone. We've lost your brother. What's happened to him?
He's having his dinner.
Is he? What have you got for dinner tonight then, John?
He said he didn't want you watching him eat, so he's
Is that right?
yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not watching. No, he's still there.
That's right.
Well, thanks for reminding me, because I've just realised I haven't had anything either. Fed the kids and forgot about me.
And here, yeah.
Yeah.
Too much? Just there.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
So easy, isn't it? There's me dropping hardly any pressure from me. And Victoria really clearly saying, wow, that's a 4, could you back off? Really, really important to get that kind of pressure right. And, you know, that's okay?
Yeah.
I'm aware that we're 7:45 and I've got half an hour's work to do in 10 minutes. Fantastic. Really come up red there, posterior deltoid, so that's a bit of a theme for you. So here, hand on the back of the head.
28.
One of the techniques I like to do a lot, you can see this, here's the scapula. So I want to push the scapula down and then pull back at the same time. So just like, and this is a sort of a nice, the concept of deflecting, pushing the scapula back where it belongs. It will, you know, can't remember who I've said this to. I think I've done this to people. Yeah, I think yeah. The whole idea being, if we get retraction and depression, then we start kind of getting the scapula where it belongs. MET bring into there just works beautifully. So push your fingers into hand behind the head and then elbow into my head.
Yeah.
Just retract. And then relax, nice and gentle, and release.
So, Chris, what's the difference when you're, because when I've done this with a couple of people, they've kind of said they've preferred like a static, long holding stretch rather than the kind of the back and forth movement.
Just checking. They prefer the stretch rather than the movement. Yeah,
but is there a difference? So, is there a difference in terms of what you achieve?
Yeah, good question. I suppose at the point where we get movement in, then we're forcing the scapula back down.
Yeah.
And you know, I quite like that kind of. You know, I quite like that.
Yeah.
It feels kind of energetic, and it, you know, but by definition, the client gets involved with that movement. So therefore, I suppose you're working on those antagonists and synergists and getting them to fire and release and fire and release and fire and release rather than just release.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question, and I'm not sure I've really got the answer to. I'm going to do a little bit on here, then we're. But I don't know if I do this. If I do this, can you see that in the camera? And this, and then this.
Yeah.
How does that look? Can you see that all right, Mark? Can you see that move all right? I don't know if I can see that all right. So my lower hand is holding the wrist here, and I'm pulling the wrist down towards the feet. And then I'm leaning on the couch, and then I'm just bringing my forearm on that blade again, and I'm just rolling it down the middle deltoid fibers while I actually distract into the shoulder.
Yeah, no, it's good that you talked about holding the wrist, because we couldn't see you holding that wrist. We thought you were just coming down the deltoid.
Yeah. No, I'm actually distracting and putting down, so it allows the humerus to just kind of encouragement of distraction, you know, down, pulling out, if you like. Great for supraspinatus issues. You know, those people that adduction is painful and sore.
Yeah, it looks like a nice move.
Yeah, try it. I quite like it, and it's just anything that helps you with this little deltoid work here.
holiday company, like
Do the other side. Sorry, can you
and
do
then
that?
you're in a big
Wiggle right
like
round.
a huge well, I don't know how much you get.
Hang on, somebody's got that microphone on. We're having an interesting discussion about who's cooking tea.
I've lost my pillow.
Do this.
We get our
You okay there? You
Yeah.
Comfortable-ish?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much you can see there, but I'm going to just come up the side. How's this compared to the other side?
It feels more sore.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more kind of, yeah, interesting. Just there. Too much? Does it feel a bit
No, it's
dry?
fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Feels okay, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Getting that sort of balance of how much wax to put on and not wanting to sort of like Chinese burny type feeling, but at the same time, enough drag to take the fascia with me. I don't want to go slippy. I forget, you know, there's no point in doing that really at this. So take a nice breath in for me. And as you breathe out, just let the ribs go, let the arm go over the top of the head. Just like that. Is that all right?
It's nice.
So breath in again. And as you breathe out, just let your shoulder drop. Good. I'm very conscious that I'm not rushing here, but I'd like to just spend more time and work through the whole area. Probably incorporate QL here, open up QL a bit, and just see what's going on. You can work on QL really nicely here. You know, you just always lean on Victoria and just let your shoulder, your arm come into QL and pushing that 12th rib or maybe crest and just drop into there. Sometimes I pop a bolster. Can't see, can you, on the camera? But I stick a bolster under here, holding up that other side of QL, so there's sort of more of an opening here, and then maybe I might do that next time and just work our way down and just think about working on QL. Really nice stuff to do. Let's just play over the posterior deltoid, and then I'll spend the next 10 minutes just finishing on the mid-thoracic and just see if we can just get some extension on that.
Oh yeah, this is weird because that's not sore at all.
No, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really interesting. So then I'm doing that move again where I pull down with the arm behind me, and I drop my honour on here, and I can just drop, just lean back. The weight comes from my back leg, and I can just drop through. Nothing there, is it?
No, it's fine.
Interesting. Let's just finish control you down on your tummy, and then just have a little bit of a play down the spine and do some of that extension stuff on the spine, which is nice to. Yeah, let's have a look. I might do a little bit of MT. So come over onto your tummy for me, madam. You like that one? Yeah. We'll remind ourselves a little bit of some of the MET that we can do here, which I think is important for us to just remind ourselves. So just push your shoulder into the couch so you're squashing me. Now this, when you do this move, you've got to tuck your legs under the couch, rock, she's engaging, and then relax, and let me do the work. I put my hand around the back of the scapula and then I tilt back.
You show my boobs to the camera.
Sorry?
You show my boobs to the camera.
No. Why did I do that? It's just, oh God. I knew it wasn't going to go to plan at all. I knew there would be a point where I found that. So MET on pec minor, lots of ways we can do it, but that's one way. So just very quickly, I want to just, I'm aware of time, and we finish. Let's remind ourselves of, you know, working on the galley spine, you know, that 2-finger width either side of the spine, where the transverse processes are, the multifid longissimus iliacostalis, those deep back muscles. I love this move, and I do this an awful lot. And I just let myself roll into here. And with time, you can get that pressure in your elbow, and you can feel your way down. What I want Joy to do, and I'd ask clients to do, is just bring themselves back up. So they come up like a snake, and then back down again, and then come up again. And if you watch somebody when they come up, you can immediately see more muscle this side than this side, and come up. I'm not sure you can pick that up in the camera, but you can really see immediately the difference in firing and the difference of where the muscles are tight. So it's a great diagnostic kind of which muscles are tight where, but also it's a great way of releasing. So I come up and I gather up the trap. I ask Victoria to come up. I come with her, and as she goes down, I put the pressure on. So then I come down a little bit further, and then she comes up. I come with her, and then as she goes down, I put the pressure on. Okay, not too much. Happy with that?
Yeah.
And then back to her. Really nice way of working on the spinal group. So come up, and then she comes back down after the pressure. Very simple, really, really effective. So I come up again, she comes up, I come with her. As she goes back down, I let go. Now, as she comes, while now I sit here, there's some tension in that spine, so I can really just release and rock the legs backwards and forwards. Nice breath in for me, please, Victoria, and as you breathe out.
The bed really high.
Sorry?
The bed looks like it's really high.
Really high?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just lazy. I don't like to bend very far. So just come up for me. And then back down again. For me, I think it's all about my position. I want my fascial stretch for me to be on my back foot always.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my calf is tight and the ankle's tight. That's where I can get my body weight.
Yeah.
So come back up again. And then back down again. Better?
Yeah.
Better. I'll do the same on this side. So just relax for a minute and just walk. There's more meat on this side and you're tighter on this side. Any questions from them? You know, I know a lot of people watching. Obviously people in the room as well. So just questions that would be useful to ask or think about to come up for. And then come back down again. I suppose the key bit is go away and practice what I've just done. If there's bits that you think, oh, well, I know that, that's great, then get on and practice it. And I come up again. And then back down again. I come up again. And then back down. And then come back up again. And then back down. Another move I just bring in, I really like. If people are curved, I mean, Victoria's like pretty good, but if people are curved here, then that move of coming down the rectus spinae is so nice to do. One of the things that happens if we're rounded here, there's clients who get really curved, is that the spinae here gets pushed out. So the longissimus costalis finds itself coming outwards rather than up close to the spinal. So I quite like, get yourself on your back foot again and then grab the kind of muscle. And you can do this with the blade here, that works really nicely. I tend to use my fingers because unfortunately, I've got great sausage things. So I'm pushing the spinal in and my pressure is down into the tissue and along. So it's not that, and it's not just in, but it's somewhere in the middle. So you come up and you push the spine up against the side of the spine, and it feels like I'm pushing now against a brick wall, and I just stay here. So then I let the fascia just release under my fingers, and after maybe a minute, it may be a couple of minutes, or it might just be 10 seconds. With her breathing and releasing, gradually the spine just slide under my fingers. Try and keep the pressure fairly constant, and then eventually it will just slide under my fingers as she just releases, and it releases, and then I get myself into a sort of a slide through. And it's a nice way of just letting the fascia talk to you and developing that skill of having a conversation with it rather than feeling done to. I push in, I almost like I lock into an edge of a door frame, and then I just stay here. And I let the fascia just say, "Hi, Chris. Gee, you're not going away." And then it just releases, doesn't it? You feel it good?
Yeah.
And then gradually it just says, "Oh, if I have to, I will." And it just slides under my finger. And it's a nice way of sort of building up that confidence that things will release if you have a conversation with it and let yourself feel that way in. Feels better?
Yeah, definitely.
So lift back for me, and then back down again. Yeah, nice. And then come up again. I'm aware of time, and I'm aware we, is it 8 o'clock, it's come and gone? Never stand it? Oh, timing's good. So I've built a bit more on it this evening. There's so much we can do here to sort of open up the fascia and get things moving again. And that whole concept of bringing and extending and bringing back and looking at that protraction. I'm aware that there's some MET stuff I should do on pec minor, which I haven't sort of done a little bit, but not anywhere near enough really, given that pec minor is our main protracting tight muscle. But I really think it's worth playing with the idea that, what am I drawn to? I find myself, I want to go back to this because I thought this was quite cool. So I'm just going to sit in there again, Victoria, and just let that go. Maybe we should have a session on stretching aftercare. Somebody after your treatment, what are you going to send people home to do? We can't. Interesting thing to do.
That's all.
So a simple bit of rolling.
Do you ever set people to do remedial exercises as well as stretching?
No.
I kind of do.
I'm not messing around with words on this one, Flick. No. Well, only because I'm rubbish at it. And I'm a real believer in I know what I'm good at.
That's a 4.
Is it really serious? It's really horrible. The rolling, have a go at rolling. It looks really easy, but it's like Chinese burn.
Oh, it's so funny.
So Chris recommended this to us. I don't know if it's back to front or not.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's amazing. It's really good, and it's got like Find something that
It's the one that's freaking expensive but doesn't have copyright, so you can photocopy pages, isn't it?
yeah, and it's really good as well. Like, yeah, and it's like secondhand as well. But it just has,
Yeah, so I need to look out for it secondhand.
yeah, so it has everything on it. It's really good. And the way I do it is I pretty much come inside, scan it in these pages, and then I label which ones work for my client. And then I just send it to them as like a PDF document that they can open up in whatever format.
Yeah. What was it? It's Sports Injury Fix.
It's the Sports Medicine Patient Advisor, 3rd edition. It's really good.
I tend to, because I'm a real, I love the idea of multitasking and multi sort of therapies. So for me, it's about who do I know who's a really good PT who really spends their time understanding how tissue works and is great at that rehab. I send and have a good relationship with them, saving them clients, and equally they send me people who need fascia work. So you have this really lovely kind of ping pong of kind of expertise where the client feels, look, don't bother seeing me for a couple of weeks. I think you should go and see John or Mary, and John and Mary will help you think about, you know, engaging your core or whatever it is you want to do, you know, getting protraction back or whatever. And then when, you know, in a month or two, when John and Mary finish with you or whatever you think, then come back and let's have another conversation and see where those headaches are or where your mid-thoracic is or whatever's going on. And I quite like that. I quite like that kind of bringing other therapies in or other expertise to help, you know, the client remains centre to it then and is surrounded by people who know their shit. Yeah.
Because posturally, I'm wanting to work everyone's back so you can loosen off their pecs and stuff on the front. Yeah. But they basically need to do a rowing weightlifting thing called bench pulling, where you literally lie on a bench and pull a weight up. And it's absolutely stunning for your posture as well. But I don't know whether that's covered by our insurance, but that's probably a conversation to have with my insurance company.
I think it's perfectly reasonable for you to give people exercises and things to do, no question. But you know, we can all change a plug. It's just whether or not the plug catches on fire afterwards. That's not a very good analogy, is it? It'll do though, won't it? I'm going to say good night to people because I'm knackered and I've had a long day. And Victoria was bored, and she certainly had enough of me and my rudeness. And but great to see people's faces and great to be part of what we're up to. So thanks for. It's been great, John, meeting your brother. I don't know what to say, really. It's been amazing. Good to see you all, and maybe see you next week.
Cheers, Chris.
Pleasure.
Cheers, Chris.
See you all.
Thanks. See you, everyone.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Cheers, Chris.